Welcome back to Quick Peek. Today we're looking at Fjorden, a Kickstarter project. I got notification about it from Kickstarter in my inbox. So let's take a look at it. I'll try to make it fast, but it'll probably be a bit long. Let's look at it. Fjorden, fast camera controls, now on your iPhone. So first off, nothing wrong there. It could be fast camera controls for your iPhone. But as it goes on, never miss the decisive moment for any shooting situation. Fjorden gives you DSLR-like camera controls to capture your creative vision. And no, I know it's sales pitch jargon, but no, that's lying. I really hate lying, especially if the first you do. It will not give you DSLR-like camera controls. You'll not get quick manual focus, you'll not get interchangeable lenses, you'll not get manual zoom, you'll not get easy access to manual control for ISO, shutter speed and aperture. So no, that is just stupid lies. If you believe that, I got a really huge tower in France, I don't need any more, and you can buy it really cheap. So I'll try to take it chronologically from this page. But I think that's quite important to know already now is it's just a Bluetooth remote with more buttons. But again, chronologically. So we got this phone, you can see the backplate there. Introducing Fjorden. Never miss the perfect shot again with Fjorden. The world's first pocketable professional iPhone camera grip. Again, I'm not sure what the criteria is to be a professional camera grip, and it's pocketable. And straight off the bat. Yes, it's pocketable if you don't have slim pockets. If you have pockets that just have room for an iPhone with a case on, it's not pocketable anymore. If you got big baggy pants, anything is pocketable. Okay, so here's my first gripe. If you look at the way he holds the phone, that is not comfortable. That is a claw-like grip. The worst thing you can do when you hold something is having a claw-like grip. That's the thing with DSLRs and system cameras, the big ones. They got ergonomics. It lies in the hand in a comfortable way. That there is a terrible way to hold it. If you hold your phone like this, or like this, that's a way more comfortable way to do it. It'll be cradled nicely in your hand, again, depending on the size of your hands. But it's easy to hold a phone. If we do the claw-like grip, first of all, you lose the ability to reach across with the thumb. You lose most of your fingers functions. So that there is what I would call a shitty design. And I don't know why they're claiming it's good. The iPhone is a stunning camera, and with Fjorden, it finally has tactile precision controls it deserves. Fjorden is always on my iPhone and in my pocket. He's a professional photographer. He must know what he's talking about. And sure, no one's saying the iPhone doesn't have a good camera. Is it the best? If we go by real world tests, no. If we go by synthetic tests, no. Sure, I think one of them is in the top 10 if you go with the DxO. It's a fine camera, but it's not like a professional camera. It costs as much as a professional camera. That's true, but it's not. But we'll get to why his sentence might be a bit stupid later when we get to the controls. As a professional photographer with decades of experience, Fjorden represent a dream I've had for many years, a phone that feels like a camera. Well, sometimes if you have a dream, you'll just go look. There has been phones that's been more camera than phone, all the way back to and before the Nokia 95, which even had a xenon flash. You have been able to get camera phones that were a bit more camera than phone sometimes, but he might have been a photographer decades, but boy, he does not know phones. So yeah, that's if Apple hasn't made it, it hasn't existed yet. Shooting with Fjorden feels so fast and intuitive, it makes the iPhone a much better camera. I haven't tried it, but I can't really see how this would make it a better camera. And that's a stupid sentence. He could have said it utilizes the iPhone camera to its full potential, because it can't make it better. That's just physically impossible, which makes his statement a lie or stupidity. So precision camera controls for your iPhone. So let's look into it. We got the 2-stage shutter button. The problem here is the camera is normally on full auto with finding what it wants, or you can push your screen where it has to focus, and it focuses. You can hold press on the screen and it locks to it. So for this to have any effects, you need to put the focus schematic in a way like on a DSLR, where you choose either a group, a point or something, and then you hold it half down to focus, which already makes it a bit more difficult to use than just the regular hold your phone, touch if it doesn't focus the right place. Now you got into, you have to set it up, find the spot, mark it and half press. That seems overly complicated. Customizable dial control, which you can see in this picture, you can push it down. So yes, the only kind of DSLR you get close to by having only one dial for your controls would be the cheapest beginner models. They often don't have more than 1 or 2 dials, apart from the ones on the lenses, of course. Since the camera have locked aperture, you only have to change ISO and shutter speed, which, depending on the situation, which you often don't want to touch since you're on a phone, since it has the small sensor, which means it often needs to go lower shutter speed, higher ISO than you want to. So you'll get a shittier camera experience if you lock one of those 2 things up, so it can't do it unless you go into full manual, but then you almost always know what you want and set it, so that is unnecessary. Also, the thing is, on the phone, if you have a camera app that lets you do manual controls, you get a slider on the screen, the multifunction button. As with this 2-stage shutter button and the dial control, the multifunction button is just gonna be one of those, most likely on-screen shortcuts, which you can't read because you put that stupid thing on it where you have the claw grip, which limits your movement of your hand, your fingers, thereby making it stupid again. So you're creating your own problems where you have to make shortcut keys, because I don't see how that helps. And then the zoom lever, the smart way to switch between the lenses, since the phone has, in this image, 3 lenses. But again, it's most like an on-screen button where you could switch and you can choose which one you want, because depending on how much you use it, you go, oh, now I want widescreen, oh, that was zoom, and then you have to push again. So it wouldn't be easier. And then smoothly zoom in and out. Okay, digital zoom, don't ever do it. That's something you do in post-production if you want to. You get much better results. Ultra compact and pocketable. Okay, again, the claw grip. Look at it. How his hands is tensed up when he's holding it. That's not a good way to hold your hand. Seriously, that's a bad way. And again, if you have loose pockets, no problem. There's a professional iOS camera app too. Again, I think they're misusing the word professional. But as you can see here, with the on-screen buttons, you got the autofocus, which I guess will go to manual focus. You can choose film, ISO, shutter speed, and exposure compensation. You got flash, JPEG, all buttons you can't really reach when you hold the claw grip. So this app pretty much shows how useless the remote control is for it. You got all the other settings, yes. As you can see, then you just move it to the select wheel, and then you can select it, but that would not be easier than your finger. Your finger would be one push, and you would be in one of those. With the wheel, you have to, if you want to go from exposure to focus, you would go, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks there, unless you have less or more things. So again, you're making it more difficult for yourself. It's compatible with other cameras and lenses. So we got Pro camera they're working with, and Obscura. Again, why do they make their own app and work together with 2 others? I could understand them working with 2 others, because then you would integrate it, but making your own app too, that's just waste of time and money if you're going this route. And then you got moment lenses, which fit the case. Again, more money. As you can see, the Early Bird Basic, which only has universal backplate, not cover, is already 120 euros. Sure, it's a kickstand. It's quick release. It's got MagSafe case. It's got the backplate. Oh yeah, if you want the case, that's 140 for the Early Bird. So that's a bit more. And it works as a remote. The Bluetooth thingy works as a remote. That's amazing. 12-month battery. And this is useless. This is just camera things. Yes, you can take all kinds of pictures with your phone. And last but not least, the silliness here. So it's not the first grip. There's others. That Pixar will give you the ergonomics and a couple of dials and buttons. So theoretically, that would be closer. It's not pocketable, but then again, it depends on your pockets. But it does seem pretty easy to get off and on. Don't know the shift cam or that one. So is this a good idea? Only if you really want some extra controls and a bit of a handle on your phone. It is gonna cost you a lot of money, because if you're gonna order it now and you're not getting an early bird, it's 140 euros without case and 160 with case, and 180 if you want the full pack with extra stuff like a wrist strap, which you'd think would be basic, since it costs literally nothing to make. And that's, I don't know, I think this is quite expensive for a glorified Bluetooth remote, which you can attach. And the case is probably good, but again, if you change your phone, you lose the use of the case. And if they change something so you can't use the backplate, that's a whole other story. And then if you want to buy the lenses from Moment, they're also quite expensive. So Short of the long is you could easily buy an Android phone with just as good or even better camera, cheaper, and then instead of buying this and maybe a moment lens, you could actually afford a pretty decent system camera or DSLR. So my verdict here, this is crap. This is stupid people saying stupid stuff because I guess they got stuff for it. But I think one of the worst thing is that claw-like grip. Seriously, your hand would start hurting within minutes. Not to mention, if you got that claw-like grip, it would be hard to use those buttons. I have semi-big hands and that look so uncomfortable. You can't use the screen if you got it on. You can't really use the buttons on it. Just look at them. They need to hold with both hands to be able to use the controls. How incredibly useless is this? I'm just saying. Well, that was a quick peek. Probably a bit long, but wow. I think this is a stupid ass thing.